Okay, there you see 8 rods. On the far left, right down there, you'll see 3 wire rods. The one on the left is my standard gear, that's 50-pound test wire, with a 320 GTI level line for a reel. It's a decent reel. The rod itself is fairly long. It's got a nice action to it, but it's stiff enough to work with the wires. Now the second one over from the left with a silver reel on it, you see it right there, that's a Tiaka, Shimano makes it. And it's a very, very good reel. I've used them for a couple of years on my lead core. I'm just trying to try them with a wire now. One of the other captains used it on wire and it was very successful. That's again got 50-pound test wire on it. But I want you to look at the rod. There's something different about this rod. I read it in a doctor's office this winter. That is a jigging tuna rod. It can take upwards to a 300-pound tuna fish. It's stiff enough to jig with. It gives you the action. It stores the energy, you might say, for the bigger fish, and it will not transmit it to the angler. It's going to be easier on the angler. And if you'll notice, it's got a nice big heavy foregrip on the rod, so you can get your hands on it, and it's very, very light. Next to that, right there, you'll see another wire rod. That's got 30-pound test wire on it. You saw a gentleman catch a nice 40-pound fish with that. That's 30-pound test wire on a Shakespeare rod that's designed for actually muskie up in the Great Lakes. And the guides will handle the wire, and it's basically like having a bait casting rod once you hook up with the wire. You got to jig it by hand. All right, next to that is one of the Shimano lightweight casting rods, bait casting rods with a small little Shimano reel on it. And that has something new I'm going to try, braided line on it. Now it's 20-pound test braided line. It's fairly heavy actually. But it has a nice action to the rod, and it's a real nice reel, and it'll be a lot of fun, you know, landing some fish. And I'm trying out this braid and see how it works. Next to that, with the blue wrapping, is a custom-made rod. We made these at the Goose, and they're very light action. That's got 12-pound test line on it. These were built from scratch, okay, understand, from a blank. And we built them at the Goose Hummock, and it's got 12-pound test, like I said, and it's got a real nice action. I have yet to break the line on a fish, and we've taken up to 20-pound bass with it. All right, next to that is my nice little St. Croix rod. Yeah, it's got 8-pound test line on it. And what a blast that is. It takes you a while to get a fish in. And you know, it's a lot of fun with big bluefish. I've taken bass, up to probably 15, 18 pounds with it. And it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. That's for a more experienced angler. But again, I have not parted off on a fish. I have not broken the line. Okay? Now next to that, the second to last from the right, is my 18-pound test lead core. I did have one of the Shimano Tiokas on that last year. I'm now using that for the wire. So on there is a 320 LD Penn level line, and it's got 18-pound test lead core on it. It's a nice flexible rod with a nice even bend to it, so it's perfect for lead core. I've taken a lot of fish with 18-pound test lead core. Big fish too. So I mean, you know, some big bass, trolling and with a tube and worm and trolling hoochies. And then on next to it, the last rod is my favorite. That's 12-pound test lead core. Now, you saw a guy there, Chuck, catch one on the clips before, a nice bass, and he was using that. I had a different set of rods on it. These are nice Shimano bait casting rods, nice light action. A lot of fun with bluefish, and like I said, I've taken some big bass. I had a little 13-year-old girl catch a nice 20-pound fish, 20-pound bass using this gear. But this is the type of stuff. Now, just laying across the fish, the cutting board there, you'll see another little rod that I've got. It's a little Fenwick rod, and it's got a little Shimano reel on it. It's got 4-pound test. Now that's going to be new to use this year, and that is going to be fun, especially in behind the sea clamor. And I'm going to have some plugs that I can use once I have to change the hooks. They're going to be freshwater plugs though, and change the hooks. But this is the kind of gear that I want to use this summer. Now in spinning gear I also have 6-pound test, 12-pound test, and then up to the normal like 17-pound test everybody else uses. But that's the one that's going to be fun. If we're in behind the sea clamor, drifting sea clams, and we get into a big fish, you'll be half a day getting the fish in. But what a fight that will be.